Recording.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
So there are two things we'll talk about. One is drones that are completely off the grid. It sort of looks like this. This is a drone that is made out of cardboard and it works more like a glider. It's intended for humanitarian aid. You can fill it, I think you can fill it up to 2 pounds worth of equipment inside of it, primarily medicine.
So that's a drone as a delivery vehicle for someone.
Exactly, and so in emergency areas or in refugee camps, planes or military planes flying over or helicopters that can drop it down with aid inside of it that's much needed, especially medical related aid.
Okay.
And so in terms of threats, vulnerabilities, and risk, it sort of mitigates all of them because it's off the grid. There's nothing connected to it. And the goal for this company, I think Everfly, is to make it out of a mushroom-based material, so it decomposes, so it's sustainable too.
Okay.
So it's quite cool to see drones being used in this sort of respect. And then the second,
yeah, we're just going to talk about Facebook's internet drone. So it looks something like this. So I think it took its first flight earlier in the summer, and basically it's going to, right now I think it's like the plan was to fly over like less developed countries. So where internet is expensive and not many people can afford it.
Oh, so people get connectivity.
Yeah, can get access and be connected to.
Now, they talked about that years ago with big helium balloons and other things like that.
that's Google's idea of helium balloons.
Yeah.
Facebook is doing it with solar-powered drones, which I think can fly over for, what?
30 days.
Yeah. As long as the geographic environment cooperates, right?
Yeah.
Anything you want to add? Okay. What do you guys have to say about drones?
Okay, I'm gonna do the talking. So we're thinking, so close. We're thinking about like there are some threats and opportunities with drones, especially for. So the threats, there could be privacy, as already discussed. There can also be a threat regarding the reliability of drones. So basically, like the drones, like it's in the air, it's not attached to any power outlets. So let's say people are using drones for like a lot more important tasks.
Right.
If it runs out of battery, it might have the potential to fall on people, objects, stuff like that. So the reliability is an issue as well. And also the opportunity includes we can use it for like identification, like especially for governments. They can, instead of using the security cameras, they can have drones flying around, controlled by police and stuff to identify, bad people, stuff like that.
Anything else from this group here? You guys have something?
We do.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
just to add on to Shafi's point about using drones to deliver aid to people, in the case that there's a natural disaster, maybe drones will be used to actually locate people buried under rubble. So that's a possible use for drones in the future.
And another thing that we thought of was, like, I think it was pretty interesting, but we think that maybe in the future, what if drones actually, like, replace cars? Especially because, like, one of our group members actually said something pretty interesting, that he has, like, a father who wants to, like, retire in this very rural area, and they were, like, asking, like, what would be, like, an issue? Like, wouldn't it be hard to get your groceries? And he was like, oh, I can just, like, get a drone to, like, deliver all of the things I want to buy outside. And another thing that we thought of is, like, I think politically, like, the government will probably use a lot of, like, drone technology, and that could also, like, displace a lot of, like, police workers for working, and that means there would be, like, higher surveillance, and that might impact businesses to have, like, stricter practices, because, like, there's going to be, like, it's going to become more transparent, because governments may actually use it in a way like how they track you on the internet, but it will be more physically. And I think also drones can help out with the supply chain system. Like, it's gonna make it much more easier, I guess, to, like, transport items or, like, different kinds of, like, raw materials. And another way is, like, with market research. I think there's going to be a new way of surveying different kinds of, like, regions in the world geographically. And I think another one, actually, that we thought of is, like, cinematography. It's going to be much more easier to make, like, nicer looking ads, especially in, like, an informal way, because, like, you know how, like, YouTube celebrities, they're, like, the new people who endorse stuff, because, like, it makes it much more natural when they're, like, promoting an item. So that would be an easier way to, like, increase the quality of advertisements.
Okay, thank you very much. And we just had the Oscars last night. We saw quite an example of a number of movies that use drones. and then photography. Okay, what do you guys have to say about drones?
Hi, so I was thinking of maybe drone can be a charger, which means with the wireless charging function, with the drone in the air, another drone can come up and charge on the air instead of going down to get charged.
Oh, that's a cool idea. I hadn't thought about that, yeah. Anybody else? Do you want to add something?
Sure. So currently there's experiment about drone taxi in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
So this Chinese drone factory made out this drone called Ang 184 AAV to
Right.
try it out like a drone taxi.
Right.
So I see like drone as like a future of like transportation, aerial transportation method.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. Yeah, come on over here.
So adding on to Andrew's
Sure.
point, so I was thinking about how drones can be used to transport those who need to be transported right into the hospital right away. So instead of helicopter, which requires enough space for them to land, drones can easily go and get those people who need emergency needs to the hospital. And another one is for production use. So instead of the film producers being on stage to record things using the big heavy cameras blocking the audience's view, they can just simply use a drone and just try to record things and let the audience view it.
Cool.
Drones can help farmers do aerial survey of crops, which means using infrared technology, they can understand which crops are actually doing good and which are unhealthy.
Good to increase production.
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody else? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So when we were talking about TRV, we mentioned Amazon Prime program. So they have a new program called Amazon Prime Air, which is using drones to deliver packages, and that's only approved in the States because they haven't got, they haven't approved by the Canadian government yet. They're doing testing site in Canada since 2015, but I think because of the licensing and a lot of privacy surveillance issues, they still need to approve it. But basically, Amazon has the Prime program. They also have one-day delivery. So what it claims on their website is that you can get your package delivered under 30 minutes, and through their trailer videos, that you can see a package delivered within 13 minutes, and there was no human pilot. It was just the drone by itself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. But I did, wait, I mentioned that anybody who stayed late to do this, everybody, the whole class gets a bonus mark. Okay, what do you have to say?
Similarly, in terms of production, we can use it for just-in-time production. That means you have your goods delivered just as you need it. That way, it eliminates all form of transportation and issues that you might slow down.
Having big inventory on site and other things like that. That's a good point. Anton?
Okay. I'm going to warn you, I'm going to take a little bit of your time.
Sure.
So instead of focusing on individual applications, I thought of patterns that we could see with drones, because there's an infinite amount of applications. You can use it to mow your lawn, you can use it to deliver food, anything you could think of. We talked about this before, you and I. Battery life is going to increase. That's a thing that's going to happen because people don't like that drones can't stay up in the air as much as they want. So battery life is going to increase either the way Cheng said, where it goes up somewhere and charges, or it just increases. From there, I can see a differentiation in the types of drones. So you'll have the small ones for personal use, sort of like the one that, if you can see.
Sit down lower.
So the one that, when you can see on Kickstarter, I think, where it comes out of your phone, it takes a selfie or whatever and flies back in. Versus like the military drones or the ones that cost like $3,000, $4,000 with the 4K cameras, whatever. And beyond that, there will be a proliferation in apps and services. So when everyone has like a little drone that's sturdy, that has a lot of battery life, and that can perform literally any task, you'll have a differentiation in apps and maybe
Exactly.
the types
That's
of
the thing I
drones.
was trying to parallel
Yeah.
between phones. So you will buy a drone that'll have modules on it. You can attach 2 arms, 3 arms, landing. It can paint, it can draw, it can blow liquid out of a jet, all these types of things,
And
right?
you connect apps to it, and
Exactly.
And beyond that, I could probably even see major corporate services starting from drones. So, like we saw the Intel drone swarms, where they program drones to sort of arrange themselves in a pattern. But it can even go beyond that. So you have like a warehouse that contains a lot of drones. You see Amazon doing this with Mercedes-Benz, where they have a van containing a bunch of drones, and they fly around, deliver stuff, come back in.
Yeah.
So it'd be the same concept, except with a warehouse, and you could even rent one out remotely, comes to you, does its job, leaves.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we kept talking about. Even like with the storm idea, we talked about maybe issues like noise pollution coming up, because like these drones aren't that quiet, they're very loud. So there's that. And what else have we talked about? Anton covered most of it,
Do
actually.
you want to add something?
Yeah, we also talked about data collection with drones. So we know like military drones and things like that already collect data, but now marketing and advertising companies are starting to use drones that can get information from open Wi-Fi, like not password protected Wi-Fi, and they've tested this in big cities like Los Angeles and throughout Singapore, and so now advertisers can get specific information on users in certain areas and target their advertisements.
Cool. Now, I'm using a little GoPro camera here to do in class a sequence of going around all the students and recording it. Wouldn't it be cool if I had a little drone that I could have hover by each person, and in front of that person they would speak their name, they'd make their contribution. At the end of the class I would have a video of everybody's contributions, which then could go into a file and everybody else could see and share. This would facilitate and increase peer-to-peer learning by having that technological thing instead of me walking around the class. Wouldn't that be pretty cool? Okay.